Hey guys, Ninja, Aaron and Jack here. Jack's debut on film. So yeah, we've got a bit of a story about Jack, probably a bit more about like us, like, you know, myself and Jack personally. When did we first get in contact, brother?
I reckon it would have been late last year, November, December.
Yeah, so Jack's from Adelaide. It's a town in Australia, a city in Australia. How would you describe it? In the middle, like the middle bottom of Australia?
Yeah. South Australia, mate.
Just a long way around to get to that. Yeah, middle bottom. Yeah. So Jack has had some ongoing stuff physically over the last few years, specifically relating to some groin stuff. So we're pretty renowned, as you guys know, for our groin work. So Jack saw some videos, and like a lot of other people, they resonated with him that he needed this work done. So it's been a long time coming, hasn't it? But Jack's come over from Adelaide with his girlfriend Belle, who's over there. She's here. She's here. And to do some intensive work with us. So Jack and I have been working over Zoom for a little bit now, just connecting, and we've got a pretty like tight relationship now. We've become pretty close in terms of the conversations that we had, which has been awesome. I've really enjoyed it personally. But now he's here for the bodywork, which has been fun. He got here last night. Yep. And he's had a full day of bodywork today. So we thought, why not waste the opportunity to get a video done? So we thought we'd have a bit of a chat and do some work. Ninja's going to do some work into the pubic bone, get the master in. I've told him about your big toe in your hand, Ninja. So have a look at that.
Let's compare thumbs, mate. Look at
that. That's massive.
So yeah, like we'll just have a bit of a chat, Jack, about maybe how you found us. Like,
show me where your pubic bone is too. Just there. Yeah, no, go through the undies. It's fine. Start working. If you want to zoom in on here a bit, Mikey as well.
Yeah. So tell us like how you came about. You know, what video did you see? You know, what point in life were you?
So yeah, I did the injury early last year in January, and so going to see a few different physios, and just wasn't getting any traction with it, and you know, wasn't able to get back to footy training, and so I was online a lot trying to look and find something that was out there, and I came across a few blokes on YouTube, actually, the Fix It Yourself series working on the groin, and as soon as I saw it, I'd never seen treatment like that before, and it just really resonated with me, and I just sort of instantly thought, like, I think this is what I need.
Yeah.
And obviously there's been a few obstacles to work through as far as, you know, with COVID and being able to get over here, but yeah, basically since that point I've wanted to get over, and so now that I've got the opportunity, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. How have you found the day so far, man? Like, obviously, like you said, it's been a long time coming and a lot of apprehension and kind of build up, but you're here now, and how's your first day been with us, bro?
Yeah, it's been good. I guess coming over here, and you know, I haven't been that active obviously over the last year with dealing with this injury, so I was a bit, you know, nervous about how much I could sort of handle and get done, and yeah, we've obviously gone pretty hard today, and it's been really good, so yeah, I've been loving it.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you're pretty into health and personal development and stuff like that, aren't you? So like, I know for me personally, over chatting with Jack quite a few times on Zoom, like I want him to work with us, come and work for us straight away. So yeah, maybe tell us a little bit about like what you're interested in and like, you know, what kind of stuff you're doing personally.
Yeah, I guess my life changed a bit a few years ago. I got chronic fatigue, and yeah, pretty much flipped my life upside down, and really struggled with my health for a good 2.5 years. So during that time, there was a lot of trying different things and learning about the body and the mind, and you know, I ended up finding sort of like a real passion with it. So I've just sort of been just following that journey, I guess, and I recovered from chronic fatigue in early 2020, which was really good, and got back into training, and yeah, got back to probably just some old habits of old ways of training, and sort of led to my the injury I'm dealing with now. So, but fortunately that led me to you guys, and it's sort of now I'm doing this and learning more again, and sort of continuing that journey.
Yeah, it like feels to me that like we've spoken about this quite a lot, but like he's had to go through these experiences to learn the way so that he can spread the word, you know, when he does make the career change.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got over chronic fatigue? Because it was more of like, this is a physical thing you're going through right now, but the chronic fatigue was more of a mental, you know.
Yeah, it's more of a neurological illness. So what's going on with the pathways that your brain is using and turning on fatigue or turning on pain in the body. And so, I was able to find this group called the Lightning Process, which, you know, train you in it, in the science behind it, and then teach you how you can actually influence your, you know, your own neurology and sort of basically rewire your brain to be healthy again. So it's not a case of, you know, it's in your brain, like it's a mental thing, like it is, what you're feeling is real, and but it's in your brain as in it's neurological. It's the pathways that are being used, and basically you get stuck in these patterns, and they sort of become like a superhighway really in your brain. And it just, the more it happens, so with me, like feeling fatigued and getting run down and sick all the time, it's just so easy for it to click into that. So I actually came over to Melbourne for that as well, and spent 3 days learning about it, and completely saved my life actually. So
it's awesome, man.
And so I'm just keen to keep continuing to learn about the mind and the body. So
you went through, like you've told me, you went through quite a lot of stuff, like that exploration or that quest you went on.
Yeah.
You know, from like the transcendental meditation to the bioresonance stuff you were telling me about, and obviously breathing and the Wim Hof stuff. Like you've done so much exploration that, like, during our Zoom sessions, like I'm meant to be consulting him, and I felt like I was learning just as much, you know. So it was awesome.
Yeah, like it's the lessons I've sort of learned along the way of I've really enjoyed, and you know, I still do them now. Like I still do the Wim Hof and the TRE and
TRE. That's right. Yeah.
And so they've been valuable lessons that I can continue to use. So.
What's TRE stand for?
Trauma release exercises. So basically the same thing. It just, you know, when we go through trauma or stress, and you know, we sort of hold on to that, and it gets memorized into the muscles. And Dr. David Baselli, the guy who came up with the method, you know, noticed that you know, other animals or young kids, you know, they sort of, when they're scared or going through something traumatic, they shake and let their body release the stress so they can you know, rebalance themselves. But as we get older, we try and hide all that and hold it in, and we sort of trap that trauma or stress in our bodies. And these exercises sort of induce a bit of a fatigue into the muscles, and then you sort of tap into your nervous system and let the body then do what it needs to do, and you do this shaking, like this tremoring, and it's
pretty violent shaking by the sound.
And at the start, obviously, it's sort of like breaking up an iceberg, so there can be some big chunks of, you know, sort of deep stress, you know, could be years of stress getting broken off. So like when I was doing it at the start, like my body would be going crazy pretty much, like moving all over the place, or I'd have big releases of laughter or crying, and just I could just feel this like deep stress being released out of my body, and it would actually feel like euphoric, like afterwards. And over time, you know, the shaking, the movements become more sort of subtle until it's more of actually just like a vibration, and that's when you're in balance, and you're just releasing the stress of maybe what happened that day, and you know, and it also, as your body's doing this, it's sending messages to the brain, which is processing that trauma that's getting released. So so it works in a number of ways that are really helpful.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Yeah, so you've been on a quest, man. Like, you've got so much to give. And I was saying to you before Ninja your quote about like the monk goes up to the mountain to get enlightenment, and it's kind of like, what's the point if you don't come back down to the tribe to tell everyone about it? And I feel like that's what you're going through right now, man, is just that quest to help others.
Yeah, definitely. And like knowing what it was like to have chronic fatigue, and then obviously once you get it, you sort of learn that there is a lot of people out there with chronic illnesses, whether it's, you know, like chronic pain or chronic anxiety or fatigue or whatever it is. And there's, you know, for a long time I felt pretty stuck, like there's, you know, man, there's no option out there to recover, and you get told a lot, you know, by professionals that you just got to manage it. And that was a big thing for me. I just hated the word like manage, like just because that just means, you know, like be careful, you got to be safe and sort of not live life to the fullest. And so I wanted to find something that, you know, not only did I recover, but I could then, you know, be better than I ever have been before. And so I'd like to be able to help others who feel like they're in that stuck situation of like, oh, I just got to deal with it or just manage it, and this is my life now. So.
I remember you were telling me about something that happened to you when you went to a lady's house to do some work for her, and she had kind of similar autoimmune kind of stuff of fibromyalgia, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she was just...
Yeah, I went around to do a job at this older lady's house, and I think she was about 65, and she could barely open the door for me to come in, and she just had to go straight back to bed. And she told me like, you know, I'm sorry, but I got fibromyalgia. I can't really do anything. You're just gonna have to do your job and leave. And yeah, I started asking her a couple of questions about it, and then told her my story. And yeah, it was sort of amazing. Like she felt sorry for me and about what I'd been through, and she'd had fibromyalgia for over 30 years now and been living like she was. And I told her, you know, about the lightning process and how I was able to recover, and there's other people out there using it as well to recover. And just in that conversation we had, she actually got out of bed and made her bed and got up, and she's like, I'm actually gonna, you know, get up and do something today. She said just hearing that like has given me hope. And yeah, it was just amazing to see how different she was. Like she saw me out and thanked me, and you know, I gave her my details and said, look, you know, like if you need to know any more about it or whatever, just let me know. And yeah, it was unbelievable. I went and sat in my work van. It was actually like emotional. Like to understand just a little bit of what she'd gone through. Like I'd had it for 2.5 years, and she'd had it, you know, for 30 years, and still dealing with it. So yeah, it was just amazing to sort of have that interaction, and then also feel like you had a positive impact on her. And you know, she probably hadn't felt that way in a long time. So it was just little things like that, and I've had other little instances like that where I just thought like, you know, that just felt more aligned with, you know, what I need to be doing maybe. And like I said, I'm still in the process of working through things on my own, but if I can pass some things on and just give people that hope or belief that there is, you know, that doesn't have to be how their life is forever now, that they can recover and live a great life again, you know, that would mean a lot to me.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's really noble and inspiring, and yeah, I reckon you and Belle, you guys have been through a hell of a lot, but yeah, you're gonna use those lessons and help a hell of a lot of people, so you should be pretty proud of where you've come from and where you're going. So anyway, we can help is going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah, seeing you guys and just the holistic approach you have, and it was just like, yeah, just as soon as I saw it, I was like, I just want to know more about what you guys do, and yeah, get the treatment myself. So yeah, this morning when I got here, it was sort of surreal. I'd watched so many videos online now, and it was like, man, to actually be here and be amongst it, it's been awesome.
Yeah, cool.
It's awesome to hear.
It's real people here, aren't
Yeah.
Nothing special.
we? Yeah.
yeah, you've got to find your tribe. You've got to find the people you're hanging out with the most, because when you're in alignment with what you want to do, with people that are like-minded, you get energy. That's why that lady that you spoke to, not only did you give her hope, but you kind of gave her the time of day, and you were on the same level, and you spoke about the same things. So you get energy for the things that you value and love. So that's why it's so important to find or get on your right path. Find like-minded people and make sure you're doing things that are in alignment with where you want to go. Because a lot of people have jobs that are just they don't really love them. There's no passion, and they don't realise they've got a choice. You actually can choose your path to some extent.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyone we can inspire to make a change for the better is going to be great. There you go, and then Ninj, getting into the pubic bone diaphragm.
Did pubic bone work? So I worked right across the top of the pubic bone, underneath the lip of it, and then on the top where the abs kind of hook in. So cleaning along there. Usually you would do a lot more interaction and ask where the sore spots were. But
you spoke pretty well for pubic bone.
Yeah, because it does hurt, and it does feel quite bruised and stuff afterwards. But that's what it's necessary to kind of shift that calcifications on there that are stuck and cutting into the different little tissues and stuff. So it's interesting. So yeah. But I suppose if I can kind of try and summarise a little bit, maybe like a lot of what you're talking about is there's no real separation between the body and the emotional body and the spiritual body and finances and family and all that kind of stuff. We're all kind of a human that's made up of all these different components, but they're all related to each other. So one thing affects another, and he was talking about being stuck. And that's kind of what we try to help people with is when they're stuck, we try to unblock them and try and shed light. I think that was what you need. You need light at the end of the tunnel type of thing. You need to have hope. And you kind of know when you're on the right frequency with somebody, and when they're hitting the targets that you need hit as well. Like, there's just a knowing. I've talked about that a lot in videos. Like it's like a language that you understand. Like when somebody hits a spot, there's a resonance there, and if they're hitting it and you can feel it kind of be intense at the start, and then it starts to dissipate, fade and melt, and then they change an angle and it gets intense again, you know that they're kind of tuned in and they're in touch with what's going on for you. And I think a lot of being able to work on people on a deep level, it comes from the conversation and the connection and all that kind of stuff beforehand. That allows you in and be able to connect in on those deeper levels that need to be worked on to make that change. So it's all the same thing. A block is a block. It doesn't matter what kind of source it is. And the other thing I was thinking of too during the talk was the origins of this work is postural integration. So, and we learned a lot about how trauma and emotion get stuck in the body, and it's in the fascia. And in particular, it's right in close to where those tendons join onto bones. So that's where it starts, in the nooks and the crannies, where where there's an opportunity for something to kind of get in there and not be disturbed by heaps of blood flow and movement. And then it just builds over time. So, and that represent that trauma or emotional times or whatever it is, those traumatic experiences that kept on being repeated, they get stuck in the myofascia, and you can unknowingly have that stuff stuck inside you until it starts to be broken down into smaller parts that you can digest and process and understand, and then you can start to shift it out. But I suppose the sad thing is a lot of people don't have the work done that will help them heal, the trauma, and be a fully functioning human again that's full of vitality and strength and wisdom.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like today getting the treatment, hasn't just been like the physical blocks that I'm feeling getting moved, it's like the conversations I've had with you and Aaron, talking about everything that's going on in my life, like that in itself has been a massive relief and release. So like it's like this double whammy, and like you said, it's just working together. And I've never never had anything like this before, and it's honestly been amazing today. So I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Lift tonight. 2 more days of this, so might see a few more videos from Jack. But yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Did bloody well for your debut, brother.
No
worries,
That was
thanks for
very
having me.
impressive.
On camera, yeah.
That's it. We'll see you
Good.
around. We'll be seeing plenty more of Jack. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Can't.